Bitter criticism, Russia Today from Chile. As is obvious, is all about Russian election. But I'm going to make different. I'm going to read something else. Look. Despite I don't have too much time. I know I do have time. This is the long way bus. The long way bus. November 5th, home Russia and former Soviet Union. U.S. is projecting its election meddling way on Russia, Lavrov. Sergei Lavrov. Washington blames Moscow every time it does not like the voting outcome anywhere in the world. Russian foreign minister has said. And we have a photograph. It says, pro-Western demonstrator rally in the Georgian capital of Tbilisi on October 20, 2024. Global Look Press. Washington and its allies are simply projecting their own actions on Russia when they accuse Moscow of election interference in the South Caucasian nation of Georgia or elsewhere. The foreign minister of Russia, Sergei Lavrov, said in an interview published on Thursday, the US and other Western nations are ready to blame Russia for virtually any election outcome anywhere in the world they deem undesirable, he stated. The minister was commenting on the latest parliamentary elections in Georgia, where several opposition parties and the nation's French-born president are refusing to recognize the voting results. The pro-Western opposition accused the winning Georgian Dream Party of staging a constitutional coup, while President Salome Zourabishvili claimed that her nation had become a victim of a Russian special operation. The US and the EU quickly responded to the situation by sounding the alarm about alleged voting irregularities and called on Tbilisi to launch a probe into reports of violation. Quote, Washington continues to actively exploit the myth of Russian election interference it had created itself. Lavrov said, commenting on the situation, if elections are won by those the US sees as undesirable, the blame over the voters' wrong choice is immediately pinned on Russia. The minister denied Moscow's involvement in elections in the neighboring country. The people of Georgia have made their choice. We tread that we respect, quote unquote, he said, adding that Moscow, quote, is ready to move on with the process of normalization of bilateral relations, unquote. According to the minister, the Americans are just trying to ascribe to themselves something that they do to Russia. Quote, Washington and Brussels actually exerted, quote, brazen pressure on the authorities and voters in Georgia. He pointed out the US and its allies seek to frame the elections in this post-Soviet state as some sort of a choice between the West and Russia. He stated, adding that it is in fact a choice between sovereign development and external control. Yeah, great, that's the best definition. Earlier, the Kremlin has accused Western nations of unprecedented interference in the Georgian elections. The US and its allies are trying not only to twist Tbilisi's arm but also to impose their terms. The Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said at that time, the Georgian Dream Party, which seeks to build pragmatic relations with Russia, secured 54% of the votes in the elections held late last month. Various opposition forces garnered between 11% and 3% each, according to the country's Central Electoral Commission. In the wake of the voting, European Council President Charles Michel stated that Georgia must prove its commitment to the EU. And I'm going to read another one from Forbidden News for the Free World. Russia Today, people. Russia Today, but don't say nothing in the headlines. And says, Meta fine over privacy violations in South Korea. World News. Facebook's partner company has been ordered to pay over 15 million for illegally collecting sensitive information. Yeah, maybe. South Korea has slapped social media giant Meta with a multi-million-dollar fine after an investigation by the country's privacy watchdog revealed the company has collected sensitive user data and shared it with thousands of advertisers. Yeah. The country's Personal Information Protection Commission said in a statement on Tuesday that the US company had obtained information from about 980,000 South Korean Facebook users on issues such as their religion, political views, and sexuality, while having failed to seek their agreement. According to the statement, Meta analyzed the pages that Facebook users liked or the advertisements they click on. The company then categorized ads to identify users interested in topics such as specific religions, same-sex and transgender issues, as well as information related to North Korean escapees. The sensitive information was later provided for use by approximately 4,000 advertisers. Under South Korean privacy laws, companies are prohibited from processing or using any sensitive data related to personal beliefs, political views, or sexual behavior without the explicit consent of the person involved. Quote, while media collected this sensitive information and use it for individualized services, they made only vague mentions of this use in their data policy and did not obtain specific consent, the statement reads. The Commission also said that Meta had unfairly declined a request by users to accept personal information and failed to prevent data leaks affecting about 10 South Koreans. The company has been ordered to pay 21.62 billion won, $15.67 million in fines. The Commission said it will continue to monitor whether Meta is complying with its corrective order. It's not the first instance of the US company being held accountable for data breaches. In September, European regulators slapped Meta with a $100 million penalty for inadvertent inadvertently storing some users' passwords without protection or encryption. Earlier in June, Nigeria ordered the tech giant to pay a $220 million fine for breaching local data protection and privacy laws. Turkey has also fined the company 1.2 billion lira, which is $35 million, after an investigation into data sharing on its Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and WhatsApp platforms. That's it by now. Forbidden news for the free world.